I'm going to be working on my truck again and getting the injectors done. I got new dummy plugs and standpipes. I also went ahead and picked up a HHC diesel nipple cup kit with new seals. And I got the injector tool and the nipple cup tool. I also picked up an IPR screen kit, and I got 4 injectors here. I'm doing the driver's side first. First thing I gotta do is get my intake off. Alright, the next thing I'm gonna do is disconnect both the drivers and passenger side batteries. It's just an 8mm. I'm not going to take the battery off completely, or take it out completely. I just disconnected the negative on both of them. I'm going to disconnect this sensor here. Pull this hose off with your D-gas bottle. Move it out of the way. Unplug my filter sensor plug. And unplug the air sensor. That should be loose enough. Okay. Move the hole down for the battery. It's an 8mm. Pull this out. Now my battery will come out. I'm gonna pull my other hose off the D-gas bottom. Alright, then slip that off, move it out of the way. Loosen that. Slip this end out. Now to get off this side. Just gotta wiggle it until you raise it upwards. Mine is attached to my catch can, so I gotta disconnect that. I'll lift this out of the valve cover. Just lift straight up. Move this out of the way as well. That's the other hose from my catch can. Next thing I'm gonna do is I gotta get my D-gas bottle out of the way. This is held on there with 2 8mm. I had a spare piece of scrap hose laying around, so I'm gonna use this and loop it. One on that port and one on this port, so I don't leak coolant everywhere when I pull this bottle out. I'm just gonna move it to the side. You don't have to remove the gas bottle, but I removed the hose clamp, and so I'm taking out the gas bottle all the way. I just put this valve on there, closed it, and put the clamp back on. So I did that so that you can see everything in there, so I get a better angle at the injectors and oil pearl and thicken bolts and everything. Take off these 2 nuts right here. These are a 10mm. Now the thickum is loose. I'm gonna disconnect the connectors on them. Connectors on here. Start with the first one. Squeeze it in. You'll hear it click. Then wiggle it off. Do one at a time. And there, the thickum is out. That's where the 3 connectors went. My back mount is missing both of the studs, so I will be fixing that. Unplug my exhaust back pressure sensor. Move that out of the way. I'm gonna pull this up. It's the harness for your glow plugs. You gotta pull this red tab back. Then unplug it. This harness is broken, so I need to replace this as well. So that's something else that's getting done. Now I'm going to remove the 2 nuts for the thickum bracket. They're a 10mm. And you gotta loosen the little nut that holds the EBP on as well. Now the bracket just comes out of there. Right here I'm going to remove this 10mm that holds the dipstick. Just going to blow everything and make sure there's no debris on the engine. So I'm just going to use the air gun real quick. I got to remove my rear thickum bracket. I got the rear bracket out. It's supposed to have 2 bolts there to hold the thickum down. Mine are missing, so I'm just going to find 2 replacements and when I go to reinstall it. Full access to the valve cover now, and I'm going to make sure to mark. It looks like it's already marked here. Mark where the studs are, so you know that's where the studs go. Just marking it with some white nail polish. It works pretty good. There's a 10mm ground nut right there, and we'll disconnect that as well, so I could pull out the whole harness. Got that ground wire off. Now for the injectors, I'm just going to squeeze them in and pull up on all of them. And it comes out like that. Unplug the IPR sensor. You just pull this metal clip back and then slip out the sensor. And all the injectors are unplugged. The last thing to do is just pull it up off the clip that is held down on. This is the new thickum harness that's going on when I reinstall everything. Now it's time to remove all the 12mm bolts holding the valve cover on. I believe there's 10 of them, but 10 or 11, I don't remember, but we'll see. All 11 bolts and studs are out, so now the valve cover will be able to just lift off. Gotta take your valve cover gasket off. It's supposed to be reusable, but I'm going to be replacing it. Crack the dummy plugs and standpipes loose. These are a 12mm hex on this specific truck. Alright, that one's broken loose. And that one's broken loose. Alright, these are both loose. Dummy plug and standpipes are loose, and I'm just going to put them in a clean bowl. That's your standpipes and dummy plug. The next thing is to take off the oil rail. Cracked all the T30s loose on oil rail. There's 9 of them. I ended up using this 1/2 inch drive T30. It's 3 inches long, and that's how I got it done. I only cracked them loose. Now I'm gonna remove them all one at a time. And these are them. Get all the rest out. All 9 of the bolts are out. So now I'm just gonna pull up on the oil rail. You want to pull straight up and out evenly. We'll try to do this from here. And there it goes. Alright, here we go. This is our oil rail. These nipple cups, all of them need new seals. So it's a good thing to replace your seals if you have it off. And you can reuse your cups. Cups are reusable as long as there's no damage. But I'm replacing, I just bought the HHC kit, so it comes with new seals and new cups as well, with a better design. So that's what I'm installing. But at least if you're not replacing the cups, buy a set of seals and do the seals while you have your rail off. There's chances your seals are worn, like these are worn. I'm going to be pulling one injector at a time. I'm going to start with the one all the way in the back. On this truck is a T40. It's a late model, it's 06. Well, actually I got to remove the harness first. So first I'm going to push the harness out, and then I'll crack the T40 loose. I put my tool on there. And then just push it down. And that's how you remove your connector. This is a tool I used, but you can use a socket as well. This is what I'm using, T40 and a regular 1/2 inch drive. And I'm just going to crack all 4 of the injector bolts loose because I'm replacing all 4. Just have it there. Then I break them loose. Three of them loose. It's the last one. And all 4 are loose. The injector's already coming up. And that's it. That screw is fully loosed. I'm gonna grab the bolt, injector, and the hold down clamp and everything and pull it out all together. This is our new one. It's got new O-ring and everything. Make sure your copper washer is on there. Make sure you don't forget to take this plug off your tip. If you make that mistake, you'll be in for some trouble. Check your top seal, make sure it's good. Should be there. The bracket for the injector has a little notch right here. That little notch, and that it locks into the injector right here in this groove. So you just line that up, and it can only go one way, so it holds it in place. Now you just put the whole thing in all together and catch it. You gotta oil your new O-rings. So I'm just using fresh T6. It's already got oil on it, but just putting a little extra. Don't forget to oil your O-ring for your connector as well. Injector is ready to go on. Okay, all 4 injectors are back in, and I torqued my T40 bolts to 26 foot-pounds. Now I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil on these O-rings up here. Some fresh T6. On the connectors. And then push it in. For the connectors, the part with the writing, the flat part, that goes towards the top. And then you push straight up until you hear a snap. And that means it's clicked in. The tops of the injectors, I filled it with fresh T6 oil. And now I gotta clean my sealing surface for the valve cover gasket. I'm just gonna use a fine scuff pad real quick and do that. See? Difference? Put to the side and show. See, that's not clean, and then that's how it looks after you just barely wipe it. Now the 9 oil reel holes, which are these ones right here. And there's 9 of them. I'm gonna blow those out so that the bolts will get proper torque when I go to torque it. So I'm gonna just use the air gun and blow out all 9 holes. Everything's clean. We got our gasket area clean. The oil injectors are filled with oil. I blew out all the oil reel bolt holes. Now it's time to put the oil reel on. Put it on as straight as possible. So here we go. Once you got lined up, you just gotta push it straight down. A rubber mallet would be useful, but I just knocked it in with my hand and make sure it's seated all the way, and it's in there good. The next step I'm going to be doing is torquing down all my T30s. It needs to be torqued in a specific torque sequence, so I'm going to have to check that real quick so I do it properly. This is the torque sequence you want to do for your oil rail, so follow this exactly. And that's the torque spec, 13 Newton meters, 10 pound-foot. If you're doing inch pounds, do 120 inch pounds and this exact order. and your oil reel will be down good. Make sure you blow out all the bolt holes in case there's oil in there, which you should already did, and now you just torque it down. Rail bolts are torqued, and now it's time to put the dummy plugs and standpipes in. These are them, that's the part number I'm using. Oil these O-rings up with fresh oil. This one goes in the front. And this should just drop in your air hole. Put it in there and put it in straight. And there you go, standpipe is in. This is what I'm going with to torque it, my Craftsman. And here we go. 60 foot-pounds. There we go, 60. Another 60. And that's 60.5, that's good enough. There, both dummy plug and standpipes are torqued. Just giving the valve cover gasket sealant area a quick rub down with the scuff pad to clean it up so it seals well. This valve cover is actually pretty clean. And then it will be ready for reinstallation. I went with a Felpro gasket set, and this is the part number right here. This is what I'm using. Oh yeah, I also painted these brackets so they are no longer rusty and beat up. These are the Fickum brackets. We got the gasket, both are identical, and so works for left or right cylinder head, it doesn't matter. Or left or right valve cover, it doesn't matter. And you get new grommets for all your valve cover bolts. And you also get 4 new seals for your driver's side. I'm gonna take this off so I clean it up better. It's just a T30 if you choose to do this. These bolts are loose, now let's lift this off. And we'll clean up all this, and we'll clean these up a little bit. And this is what your 4 seals are for. Your 4 seals go here. You can pull your old ones off and replace these. Might as well since I got them. Let me get everything all cleaned up so it's not so dirty and dusty, and then I'll reassemble everything. I cleaned up everything nicely. Now I'm gonna install new seals onto this box here. Just push those in there. Alright, we got all new seals in there. Now this part here installs onto your valve cover where the hump is. So the side where the hump is, the outlet goes for your breather. Line it up. And then just start catching your bolts back in. And that's good to go. Now I'm about to reinstall this back on the truck. Place these rubber grommets, you just pop them off and then slip on your new one. And that's it. You can do that for all your grommets because the kit comes with all brand new ones. Our valve cover is all cleaned up, looking good and ready to go on. All the grommets are installed on the valve cover bolts and studs, so here we go. It goes on like this. The flatter side goes to the top. So just want to get this in position. Now it's time to get the cover on. This is how the valve cover goes on there. The port goes to the front. So I'm going to stick this in there. Getting it under the harness. Now once you got it on there, start catching your bolts. The ones with the studs go where you marked with your whatever you used to mark it with. I used nail polish. For 11 total to install. So I'm gonna catch a middle one here. Bolts are fully installed. I just have to tighten them all down now. Cover torque spec is 80 inch-pounds or 6.6 foot-pounds. I'm just going to start from the middle and go back and forth, working my way out towards the ends. And just how I'm going to torque it. Pretty standard crisscross style. Alright, all valve cover bolts are tightened, and now the only things left for me to do is reinstall my glow plug harness, which I removed because I changed the glow plugs on this side, and plugging back your FICM harness to your FICM, reinstall that bracket. Get your ground wire that has to reconnect over there. The ground wire that reconnects in the back. Don't forget that wire. Connect up, plugging back all your injectors. Back your air intake and degas bottle, and the job's pretty much done. I'm gonna leave it like this because I'm changing out my up pipe in the back there. I'm replacing it, so I'm not gonna reassemble anything yet. You can also change your IPR seal back there since it's easily accessible right now. This video I do will probably be of changing out the up pipes. I could show how to make an IPR tester. A cheap IPR tester to pressure test your oil system. And my oil system will be good because I just replaced everything. It should be completely leak free now.